Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to Nerd Tube. We're going to be talking some news regarding the Star Wars High Republic. I'm here with Gary. How you doing, mate?
Hi, Bart.
Wonderful. I like the name you got yourself there. All right. So, there's been some revelations regarding the High Republic, and not many people know that there's comic books and stuff like that on the High Republic. I'm sure that you have to be the most hardcore of Star Wars fans to be aware of all of this shit. But nevertheless, the mainstream audience are not that aware. So let's read this article. Well, let me read this article. We'll find out a little bit more about it, and then we can give our thoughts and opinions. Okay.
Okay.
So, Star Wars: The High Republic has finally revealed its mysterious force-eating monsters known as Malevolers. These beasts have been harnessed by the evil space pirate collective Nihil in their all-out assault on the Jedi Order, and they are a weapon unlike anything we've seen before in Star Wars. By the way, just so people are aware, the High Republic era is like say 500 years up to the prequel trilogy sort of era. That's the sort of period. So, but you know, about 500 years before that, some
Mm-hmm.
shit like that. So no Sith or anything like that. Well, not that the Jedi Order know of. Levelers have been seen to completely reduce Jedi and other Force sensitives to trembling messes by cutting them off entirely from the Force before turning them into dusted husks. How that process works has been one of mystery, but what the levelers actually look like has been another mystery until now. Ooh. The reasons we don't know what these levelers look like is because of how their power works. When Jedi and Force sensitives get near a leveler, the beast sparks wild hallucinations in them, twisting their minds with sheer terror. It's basically Star Wars version of Batman villain Scarecrow and his fear toxin, but you know, for a Jedi. Well, in the final chapter of Star Wars The High Republic, Trail of Shadows, one Jedi investigator, Emmerich Captor, manages to do what his fellow Jedi could not, push through the leveler's evil void to a true look at the creatures. And so here's some comic book art here. This is this person saying it's long, sort of desiccated with sharp claws twitching very slightly. What else do you see? What? So why? What do you see? Sorry, I apologize. Well, not that. Knowing what we've learned, concentration doesn't make the hallucinations or panic go away, but it can dull the effect some. I'm here. Tell me what you need. If I can just reach out with the force, maybe learn what this thing wants. Emmerich! And you hear this noise. And there it is. It looks like some sort of creature you see in World of Warcraft. It looks high as fuck as well with those eyes. But yeah, watch out. And that's what it looks like. You know, not necessarily the most original looking creature, considering what I have seen recently in various other types of television shows and movies and cartoons and stuff like that outside of Star Wars. It's not much originality there, but I'm sure the creators of this monster, once they make it in CGI form, they're going to try to spice it up a little bit. But that's what it looks like. Not the most amazing thing in the world, in my opinion, but fair enough. And it looks like we have a Jedi here. This is this Emmerich guy. And we look like we have some sort of ranger or bounty hunter, or whatever, in this girl here. And there's some people here. I don't know if these are Jedis or whatever. This dude looked like Palpatine's right-hand man in the prequel trilogy, but he
Mm-hmm.
might not be the same guy. Um, let me sure I get his name right. The Nihil member, Dr. Undersund, reveals to Emmerich that the levelers are also known as the Shrii-Ka-Rai, Eaters of the Force, or simply the Nameless. In Understood's explanation, their mere presence causes madness hallucinations in Force users. Indeed, the Shrii-Ka-Rai monsters that Emmerich and his partner Cyan Holt encounter is even more fearsome in its true form than the hallucinations it is caused in the Force users. The creations were frozen in ice in a remote part of the galaxy, but were dug up and freed by Marchion Ro, the leader or eye of the Nihil in the novel Star Wars: The Rising Storm. Since first unleashing the Shrii-Ka-Rai against the Jedi and killing Master Loden Greatstorm, the beasts have been deployed in various ways against the Jedi, most notably in Nihil's attack on the Jedi Republic outpost, Starlight Beacon. See, this is all news. All of this shit is new to me. I don't know about any of this shit. They're talking about a whole bunch of people I don't know about, talking about locations I have no fucking idea about. All right, fair enough. I mean, I'm sure we'll learn, but because this is a period in time which is we're unfamiliar with. Anyway, in the new novel Star Wars Fallen Star, see, these are from books that people are not familiar with, because I think a lot of these books are like, the new books from which are like from the Disney verse of Star Wars. This is not before Disney bought Star Wars. Anyway, the new novels Star Wars Fallen Star, the Shrii-Ka-Rai are smuggled into Starlight Station as a disruption to the Jedi, while the Nihil infiltrated the sabotage the station. The body count of Jedi these levelers have dusted has also grown substantially, and includes some fan favorite characters, with other Jedi like Emmerich left with something close to PTSD after just near encounters with them. Between the Shrii-Ka-Rai and the Rengi plant monsters, the High Republic is showing how Jedi of that era had dark side threats well beyond the Sith to worry about. When the comic book Nation crew, okay, fuck all that. Actually, let me read that. When the comic book Nation crew sat down with Star Wars High Republic Trail of Shadows writer Daniel Jose Older, he explained why the High Republic has kept the Shrii-Ka-Rai creature design such a big secret. You could think of it like Alien, You take your time, Older explained. You don't throw your monster on the first panel or the first shot. You kind of work your way towards it. And I think what their effect is what's most important. And sort of knowing that as we move towards finding more about them, and we do find out more about them, so we do find out more, and finding out more is what people are after. The Levelers or Shakari or Nameless will be appearing in Star Wars High Republic. All right. So this is what we're going to be looking forward to, because obviously they can't give us the Sith, because that would go against, everything from the prequel trilogy and everything we know about, Darth Bane and all of that, which is all part now of canon, thank God. But nevertheless, this is our creature. And I'm a bit worried, Bossman. I really am. Like, I should always hold judgment until the film comes out. But I'm just feeling that we're getting a little bit of a repeat of the Star Wars sequel trilogy here, and they weren't, however we feel about all three films, certain one or two of them or whatever, or all three of them, depending on who you are individually, weren't necessarily appreciated by the fans, the direction the films went. And it was stuff like The Mandalorian and Boba Fett to a degree, which was set just after the original trilogy, a period where people were, they understood that time a lot better, and they were able to connect the dots a lot easier. And it kind of saved Star Wars, in my opinion. Now they're going to this High Republic era, a period which people are not familiar at all. It does give Disney carte blanche to do what the fuck they want. But I'm not sure how I feel about this. Hallucinating monsters. I mean, I want to see fucking lightsaber duels and shit like that. If you're going to have Jedi, but considering there's no Sith, who the fuck are they going to lightsaber duel with? Their hallucinations? I mean, what do you think about this, boss man?
It's an interesting idea to have a monster that literally eats the Force. So I still be attracted to Jedi. So I'm interested to see what they do with it, because again, like, we've not really seen something that isn't like a Sith be a threat to a Jedi. Just as I said, it'll just be good to see that. The thing is that I'm not sure if these things are the best things that we can have. These saddle monsters or whatever the hell they are. But I do think it's going to be interesting. It depends. It's like anything. If they do it well, it could be like, oh, how did they ever get on without ever doing these shadow monsters? But if it's done badly, again, the thing is that what I want is like if they are going to do this, to do it like Alien, where you don't see it. Maybe you'll see like a tail or a claw, or you'll see a little bit of a jaw somewhere, and then you'll just get things. So and that's basically what I want to see. I want to see these these things basically be a threat that they can't just like lightsaber or use the force. They have to use their intelligence, and it'll be like the stronger survive. And I think that maybe that's what leads us into maybe the prophecy coming out. I don't know that to come out evil. That's what causes the prophecy to happen.
I don't want this to be a trilogy for a start, like a trilogy
By the
against
way,
Force monsters. This should be a one and done movie, in my opinion. I wouldn't mind them going down the horror side of things if they can pull it off. If they go down that route and they make it sort of like a Star Wars horror movie, that would be pretty cool. Um, it's very hard to know how. I mean, I know you mentioned regarding like keeping the monster under wraps and not revealing it until a lot later. And that concept has been done before, but we kind of got an idea what it might look like just by on this bloody comic book picture. If they're going to follow it design closely to that in any capacity, and where would it? Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, but it could just be like that's the depiction that they've chosen for the comic. It doesn't mean that whoever does the design for the series has to follow that, because it depends how much canon this is. Because there's a lot of canon in the Star Wars universe, and a lot of it isn't connected direct. Unless it's a book that was approved by Disney, then yeah, it's going to be canon.
Yeah, I mean a lot of this High Republic stuff only started being created after Disney bought the franchise. Um, and
I don't
go
know.
on.
I'm interested. I'm interested to see what they do with it, because at the end of the day, what I want is fresh stories with Star Wars. I don't want to see Jedi, fight the Sith, good conquers evil, but evil, has its victory sort of day. It wins the battle but doesn't win the war sort of thing. And I don't, as I said, like if this is something different where it's the Jedi taking on something that literally isn't affected by their power and is actually attracted to it, then that is a different sort of threat that they've got to use their intelligence to beat. And again, I'm kind of interested in it, but I've got a bad feeling about this. To quote Shakespeare, that I think this could be a total clusterfuck.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried too. Like you think to yourself, okay, look, they seem to be doing things really well with Boba Fett and Mandalorian. I mean, Boba Fett wasn't necessarily appreciated by everyone, but
No,
it's still there was a familiarity about it, and I think it was a direction Boba Fett went to a degree. But when you had the Mandalorian and Luke Skywalker episodes, people kind of loved all that shit, Grogu coming back and all of that. It was set in a time which people appreciated as well. There's a lot of familiarities. This is going to be unfamiliar for most mainstream Star Wars fans. Yes, there will be the book readers who will fucking try to explain to everyone how it's supposed to be. But as someone myself who had I read a lot of the Star Wars books before Disney bought Star Wars, and
so
they
like
were really good.
The Throne trilogy is excellent.
Throne trilogy and so many others. A lot of them which were set during the Old Republic era as well, which is an era I love. And even that's got nothing to do with this era. It's got nothing to do with the modern day era. But I still love that era because it's full of Jedi, full of Sith, massive conflicts in space and stuff like that. Whilst this era, I know you don't want to see Jedi and Sith fighting each other all the time, but we're still going to have Jedi regardless.
Well, this is why Disney need to do other things than Jedi. Look, we understand that the kids have a lightsaber and go. But the thing is the reason why is because people keep on focusing on it. Focus on something else. Focus on like people like a Han Solo or a Paul Dameron. Sort of like people who aren't bad guys but are kind of, if they're good, they're chaotic good in that like they don't mind if something falls off the back of a ship, sort of thing. The kind of people that would notice if a crate of a crate somewhere goes missing off a freighter. That kind of thing. That could be interesting as a series concept because again that would be sort of like a rogue in space, sort of like I don't know, I'm trying to think of a guy like a Robin Hood, not Robin Hood, but like that's like a guy who's a little bit not white in the mind.
Bit like a Cobb Vanth, maybe.
Yeah, like a Jane Cobb, or like a I'm trying to think of a guy I'm sure there's characters out there that sort of like aren't exactly bad guys, but aren't exactly the noblest of good guys either.
Yeah, the anti-hero. I know what you mean.
Yeah, so anti-hero is a bit strong for it, but like sort of the good guy, but he's not above, making sure that like a crate of Valyrium or something falls off the back of a freighter to pay off his debts, that sort of fella.
Yeah, they know right from wrong, but they still have to fucking look after themselves.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. If they had a series about something like that, because again, this is where I'm going to agree with Cheeto, right? I know he's not here, but like that, I think that the way to keep Star Wars Jedi's special is to keep them special. Because the thing is that if everything's Jedi, then people are just going to get bored with it. Whereas if they do it the way that I'm saying, that they have a character who's a little bit more, morally
grey,
rather than like, because then like they don't have to be part of the Force. They don't have to be one way or the other. They don't have to be light side. They don't have to be dark side. They can flip flop. Like as I said, like like a Jane Cobb. Like I mean, that
or like
great.
a Cassian Andor.
Yeah, like Firefly in the Star Wars universe would be great. We don't hire Joss Whedon, by the way, people who do Star Wars, but something like that where it is a group together who basically shouldn't exist, but like I mean, me personally, this is what I would do if I was in charge of Disney. I'm not, but if I was, get races together, not all of them human, get some that other way. So what I would do is get like maybe like a Gungan. I get a Gungan because again we want to try and resurrect Gungan.
Yeah, why not? Get a fucking Gungan, yeah.
Yeah,
a Zabrak.
Yeah, I'd get like a lizard person. I get one of those blue people with the weird hair. I get
Trishodan, yeah.
Yeah.
Trishodan's a lizard person. Zabrak is Darth Maul species, but I'll get one of those anyway.
Yeah, get one of those. I basically just get it like being a ragtag group and have it like they're all people who not hate each other, but don't trust each other, but need each other in order to survive. Then you see who has chemistry and you work on those relationships. That could be interesting to see. Because again, we've got entire galaxies that that Star Wars hasn't explored yet that we could look into. And maybe that's what they do. They go into these like galaxies we're not going to, and maybe they find shit there that we shouldn't be finding. Just an idea.
No, it's a good idea. I was just thinking though as well. Like two of the most popular Star Wars films made by Disney are the anthology films, which are Rogue One and Solo, and they don't have Jedi in it. I mean, there's a Sith at the end, but you know what I mean. I mean that's neither the hero there, regarding the Solo movie. But they're not Jedi based films, they're about resistance or they're about smugglers, and they were great and very, very popular. So there is a place for Star Wars without the Jedi, in my opinion, and it's just about the writers getting their head out their asses and making non-Jedi centric films. Personally, if we're going to deal with Force users, I would like stuff focused on the Sith my favorite books in Star Wars are the Sith books. I find them fascinating. I love focusing on the Sith. Darth Plagueis books were great. The Darth Bane books were great. There's a book called Red Harvest set in the Old Republic era about Sith zombies, which is fucking great. And Death Troopers, which is set in the original trilogy era about Sith zombies as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would love to see something like that. Maybe like where maybe the High Republic, maybe like during like the height of the New Republic, where the Sith have to be much more discreet about what they're doing, and maybe the adventures they're doing to try and put in the seeds that will grow into Darth Sidious. Coming to. But the thing is that I don't know how
they have to. If you're going to put the Sith in this, they somehow have to, in a way, not. If they do reveal themselves, then whoever they reveal themselves to cannot get information back to the Jedi Order.
No. What I mean is, like, I'm trying to think of it. It'd be like a vampire film, in that we know that they're that, but no one else does. Like, if you watch like a Dracula film, a good Dracula film, or a good vampire film, or whatever, it's because everyone else doesn't. Some people suspect, but they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people like one of my favorite series of all time is like something like that, where like one of my. Have you ever watched the X-Files? There's one episode of that.
Yeah, of course.
There's an episode of that where the entire episode is shot from the Monster of the Week's point of view. Like, everything we see is through his eyes.
Oh, okay. I can't remember that episode.
There's an episode of it. I'll try and find the episode. Just give me 1 second if that's right, just so I can find it for you. X-Files.
Okay.
Tongue brain. Yeah, look up the episode Hungry from the X-Files. It's the third episode of the 7th season.
Wow, 7 seasons.
I know. Well, there's more than that. I think it's something like 10 or something. Yeah, the 9 seasons, 11 seasons, even.
I'm just a bit concerned about getting copyrighted, which is why I don't want to put it on.
No. But what I'm saying is you watch it on your own. But that's basically
the guy's bold, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we don't see what Mulder and Scully are doing. We don't see what other people do.
It's from the perspective of the bad guy. It's a bit like American Psycho, where the cop is a secondary character, and we just see it from the perspective of the bad guy. Yeah,
we just see it from the perspective of that's what I'm saying. Something like that, but done from the perspective of the Sith could be really good, and I agree with you.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like like between. I know we're going totally off topic here, but from the moment the Ruler 2 began, and up to maybe Darth Plagueis or Darth Sidious as an apprentice, I would like to see some sort of series or period of how they kept the Ruler 2 and how they made things the way they did in order to eventually try to take over the Jedi. Way Darth Sidious had planned it once he became a Sith Lord, because in my opinion, in movie history, Sidious is the greatest villain of all time. I can't think of anybody, and I do mean anybody, as good as Darth Sidious as a villain. I mean, you've got your mass murdering villains like your Jason and your Michaels and your monsters and stuff like that, but the way he manipulates the entire universe and ends up being in charge, kills Jedi. He's able to fight as well, killed a whole bunch of Jedi Masters, take over the most prosperous Jedi in Anakin Skywalker, has a galactic empire, rules the whole universe, has real pleasure in people's pain, like, just killed off, told Anakin to kill Dooku and all of that. Love seeing people getting hurt, all of these things. You know, he's the greatest villain of all time, and I would love to see, you know, a story arc going into that. But that's obviously neither here or there because God knows if we'll ever get anything like that, especially from Disney. Because as long as Disney are holding the reins, you know, it's going to be very. I mean, would you think Disney would have made a fucking episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, with the knowledge of Anakin killing younglings? For fuck's sake, Anakin admitted killing children in episode 2, Tusken Raider children. You know, so it just makes me wonder if they'll ever go down that route again. You know, with the Sith, you know, they
So you
might play
think,
it safe with the fucking
do you think
Jedi.
it's Disney there to they're too family friendly to maybe like take in a more darker direction? Well, again, I would say that Disney can be dark when it wants to.
Yeah, but they still resort to things like, look, excuse me, look, at the end of Mandalorian season 2, Grogu left with Luke Skywalker. That's a hell of a fucking way to end the season, and now the show should go in a different direction. But the writers have realized that the Mando and Grogu show is where it's at, as far as they're concerned, and they want to keep it that way, which is why Grogu's back. You know,
Yeah, I didn't agree with that.
You know, which is not clever. Like they there's no harm in bringing them two back together again, but not immediately. Like you've just taken the impact away from season 2's finale, and
Yeah,
it seems like that. Like the selling of toys and merchandise and shit like that seems to be paramount when it comes to these companies, you know. And having Grogu at the picture is something they don't want to do.
But the thing is that like I understand this is a cash cow, but the thing is that they've moved on. He's moved on. Sometimes characters you like move on from the series. Like I'm trying to think of something. So, I mean, it's not like the series couldn't continue without him.
Well, we could have got Grogu in the Ahsoka series. You know, like we could have got Grogu with Ahsoka. With I've always said, you know, regarding Luke Skywalker, bring him back in Ahsoka, have him there. Ahsoka goes to him for advice, and he goes to her for advice because, in a way, Ahsoka is his superior, his mentor. She's known the Force longer than he has, you know, and they can work off each other. Grogu's there as well. All of that, you know, you can see the foundations being built for the sequel trilogy as well, and all of these sort of things. You know, but no, we just need to bring Grogu back, you know, to Mando because people love that shit. And now it's going to be the adventures of father and son. Now, if Grogu's back, I want him to fucking be a Mandalorian, you know, and I want him to get an outfit on. I want him to get a jetpack, Beskar armor, fucking gun, and all that sort of shit. Because if you're going to go down that route, then that's what I want him to be. But yeah, lean into it now because. But yeah, I just get a bit concerned that when they do these major things that there's no payoff for it because they'll just reset everything. You know, Mandalorian's been reset for season 3. Still Grogu and fucking Mando, and they've been together since the first episode when they met each other at the end of episode 1.
I think the problem is that the showrunners didn't have enough faith in the Mandalorian surviving on his own. And that's real disappointment because at the end of the day, the series isn't called Grogu, it's called The Mandalorian. It should be about the Mandalorian. I mean, the thing is that because you look at, for example, any series where it loses a character, if again the good ones will carry on despite losing that character. Like for example, even though people didn't like the end, Game of Thrones would lose characters week after week after week, but still would keep you involved with the story. And I think that the people should have had faith that Grogu can move on to a different part of life, and the Mandalorian has an impetus that he needs to get back with the Mandalorian people. That he's lost touch with himself because he removed his helmet, he's been let go. So
I had no problem. I had no problem with him, you know, almost having regret for removing his helmet and being honest about it and stuff like that. Because you know, people think it's very easy just to lose your beliefs, so to speak, just like that. You know, people bend their beliefs. You know, they don't necessarily lose them. So with him wanting to make amends for that, I'm fine with that. With him ruling Mandalore. I mean, that's the way to go, isn't it? You know what I mean? He's got the fucking dark saber and shit. The dark saber is going to be the new fucking MacGuffin now. Before it was about Grogu and him being force sensitive. Now it's going to be on the fucking dark saber, in my opinion. But everyone will want it. You know, it'll be like the 24/7 championship in the WWE. You know, everyone's going to be coming after it, and I don't know. But anyways, getting back to the High Republic, I'm going to obviously reserve my judgment for when the film comes out, but I'm just can't help but feel very worried about it in the first place, and I really am hoping that they do this one right. They've got more time now on their hands, and I'm not sure.
Me too.
You know, I'm not sure if John Favreau or Dave Filoni is going to be involved in this project. If they were, I would be a lot more happier knowing that we got proper Star Wars guys involved. But I'm not so sure about it now. I mean, if they're not involved in it, then I'm even more concerned because they're going to start bringing up stuff that nobody knows about. They're going to start talking about stuff no one's familiar with. You know, they might throw in the odd Easter egg just to remind people about this, that, or the other. But you know, I mean, Yoda for me will have to probably be the main protagonist. You know, I want Yoda to be the main character of this because he should still be a fucking grandmaster, you know, and all of that. So I expect him to be the lead character, and he'd be younger as well. So it'd be good to see a younger Yoda in that aspect as well, more vibrant. You know, maybe not having a walking stick for a start as well. So all of that, yeah. So I'm very much looking at from those are the things I'm looking forward to. A younger
Yeah.
Yoda, but I'm worried that he's not going to be the main character. I really am.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
again, I'm concerned that this whole thing just could be a little bit too much. Because again, I think that again the thing is that the Star Wars itself needs time to breathe. Because we get the Obi-Wan series, we had the Bad Batch, we had Visions, we had this is right in a special year. We had Mandalorian season 2, we had Visions, we had at the end of it Boba Fett, we had bad batch. Sorry, I call it bad batch. Bad batch. That's too much. That's about 4 things to do with Star Wars. And then this year we've had the end of Boba Fett. We're gonna have probably Mandalorian season 3. We're gonna have Obi-Wan. We're gonna have
Andor.
We're gonna probably have
And maybe something and Bad Batch. We have Bad Batch. I mean, I don't mind. I'll be honest with you. I think because look, we've had so much Marvel last year, and I'm nothing. I've got nothing against that. But variety is the spice of life. Yeah. So I'm happy to get a bit of Star Wars this year, and honestly, like Visions wasn't canon anyway. It was just something. We had the Mandalorian at the end of last year, and we had the Book of Boba Fett at the beginning. Sorry, we had the Mandalorian beginning at the end of the previous year, and previous year, and then we had the Book of Boba Fett at the end of last year, beginning of this year. I'm fine with that. You know, there was a lot of gaps. Bad Batch, not everybody saw that. I watched that. I enjoyed that. It started off really well, but it then kind of lost its way a little bit, in my opinion. Too many filler episodes. Way too many filler episodes. Andor, I'm looking forward to now. At first, I wasn't, but fuck it, I'm all on board on Andor. And Obi-Wan series hopefully will be good too. I don't mind that. You know, these are set during periods people are familiar with. Bad Batch, Obi-Wan, and Andor all set, you know, during the early periods of the Empire. So I'm all on board. You know, I'm very much looking forward to all of that. At least it's during a period we're all familiar with. But High Republic is the gamble. You know, it's the big gamble. I've always said they should go back to the old Republic and do a Game of Thrones type show during that period. You know, with variety of different characters. You know, that can be killed off, Sith and Jedi characters that can be killed off, backstabbing. You know, people going to the dark side, people coming to the light side, all of that. You know, yes, I'm very much on that train, but I love the old Republic era. It's fucking the best era in Star Wars, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But this High Republic era without Sith, and having to put monsters to replace Sith. I mean, the Mandalorians, by the way, were the Jedi's other enemy. People forget that. They fought the Jedi's and the Mandalorians fought each other quite often, which is why they had the Beskar armor to deal with the Jedi's. So it will be interesting to see how this pans out. I'm hoping it pans out really well. You know, in the day, I want it to work, boss man. I'm sure you
Me
do
too.
too.
Me too.
Yeah, you want it to. It's not like we want it to be shit.
No.
I just wish I didn't have this nagging feeling inside me that made me think it's going to be shit. But you know, I want to be proven wrong. Please prove me wrong, Disney. You fucked up in my opinion with the sequel trilogy. At least not fuck up with this trilogy or whatever you're making here. I don't even know if it's a trilogy or not. I mean, I have no fucking idea what they're doing. I mean, I've heard rumors they want to make a Jedi Order series or film set after Episode 9, which is a good thing in my opinion. Obviously, you'd probably have to bring back Rey, Daisy Ridley, which I'm fine with. I'm totally fine with, make her like a Jedi Master and all of that sort of shit, Grand Master, and
I think that she needs. I mean, seriously, good if they could just raise a good character.
Yeah, look, I have no problem. Look, it's just the writing. It's not the actors or the acting too much. It's just the writing. It was all over the place. Like, however we feel about the sequel movies, they kind of wanted to put the prequels under the carpet with Force Awakens, and I know you like the Last Jedi, but in my opinion, it kind of derailed whatever was set up in the Force Awakens, and then and then Last Jedi. Sorry, the Rise of Skywalker derailed whatever was set up. Well, and I don't even know what was set up in the Last Jedi, but whatever the Last Jedi set up, it was derailed.
I think what Last Jedi was trying to do, and maybe you guys agree with this, was trying to show that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter who your parents are. It doesn't matter who your ancestors are. That anybody could be a Jedi. Anyone could be with the Force. Anyone could have that power, and that's why it was so powerful. That it was been teased. A lot of people saying, "Oh, she's this person's family. She's Luke's daughter. She's this person."
It's like, made her a fucking Palpatine.
No. That's the film afterwards.
I knew she wasn't going to be Luke's daughter because I knew from Force Awakens that she wasn't Luke's daughter, because if she was Luke's fucking daughter, then her auntie, fucking Princess Leia, and her uncle Han Solo would know who the fuck she is. Yeah, especially with Leia being Force sensitive, she would know who the fuck she is. Yeah, so I knew from that film that Rey was never going to be Luke's daughter.
Yeah, there was some what's the word? There was some online push for that to be the case. But I love the fact that she was nobody. She was literally nobody. She was.
I had no problem with that. I had no problem with that too. I just wish that either Rian Johnson continued where J.J. Abrams left off, or then J.J. Abrams, took the high ground, so to speak, and continued what Rian Johnson left off. But neither of them wanted to do that. Rian Johnson didn't want to continue where J.J. Abrams went, and J.J. Abrams didn't want to continue where Rian Johnson went. They both, and I just want, and regardless of that, now it is what it is. It's unfortunate, in my opinion, because if they could start this all over again, that would be the best thing to do, because I just feel like they're kind of like they're letting history repeat itself with no I want to see a Jedi fucking Order, a mod, not one from the past, but one of today, built by Luke Skywalker, but that never materialized. Now we realize that he tried to build a Jedi Order, he had a conflict with Kylo Ren, and there's no fucking Jedi Order. And Luke was supposed to be the last Jedi. He ended up passing all his knowledge onto Rey, and all of that. Now I want to see a Jedi Order, with attachments, because in the books before Disney bought the fucking franchise, Luke Skywalker had attachments. He was married to Mary Jade Skywalker. He had a son called Ben Skywalker. There were attachments. Leia became a Jedi, and she obviously married Han. They had 3 children. Jason and Jacinta Skywalker and Anakin. So Jason and Jacinta Solo and Anakin Solo. They had kids. Attachment was fine. If it wasn't for attachment, yeah, Darth Vader would never have sacrificed his life for his son. If it wasn't for attachment, Luke Skywalker would have gone to the dark side, but he didn't because he saw history repeating itself. Attachment doesn't mean that you're going to turn bad, and I wish they could get rid of that and modernize it a little bit. And it was like that in the books, but it hasn't been like that with Disney. It's pissing me off.
Well, see, this is one thing I'd love for a Jedi series to confront that issue, to confront that it is not a bad thing for a Jedi to have attachments. It's a bad thing if Jedi allows that attachment to cloud their
judgment.
Yeah, like for example, the thing is that the problem wasn't that that Anakin loved Padme. It was the fact that he kept on getting visions that she was going to get killed, and it reminded of him losing his mother. And that's what the problem was. That's what led into the debate. It wasn't the fact that he loved her in the first place. It's the fact that he was getting visions, and because he couldn't talk to anybody about it, he couldn't talk to Obi-Wan, he couldn't talk to Yoda, he couldn't talk to everyone and say, "Look, the woman I love, I keep on having these visions that she's going to be killed. What can I do to prevent this?" And the thing is, the only person he could turn to was literally a Sith. So that's what led him down the dark side. It wasn't the fact that
he got manipulated by Palpatine.
Yeah. So again, that's my problem. Is that so that shows you that it isn't necessarily what's word connections that are the problem. It's the fact that when you deny being honest with people around you, the only person you're going to go to is somebody who's going to manipulate you. Whereas if you went to different people, if you go to Obi-Wan with it, you could go to Yoda with it, say, "Look, the woman I love, if I keep having these visions that she's going to die, how can I prevent this?" And I'm sure that Yoda and Obi-Wan said, "Well, you need to do this, like that." And it would have been a lot more practical than he said, "You need to use the Force to keep her safe." Like that sort of stuff. So that was my impression.
I look at Ben Kenobi as being a good example of why attachments won't make you go to the dark side. And also, people forget that Jedi do have attachments. They have attachments to their masters and their Padawans, and the whole order is like being part of a group. Your fellow Jedi masters and stuff like that are all your friends. You know each other. They're colleagues. When you sit in the Jedi Council, you're sitting with friends, not just people you know. So there are attachments in that particular way. But Obi-Wan lost Qui-Gon. He stayed in the light side. He lost the love of his life in the Clone Wars. He stayed to the light side. Anakin turned to a fucking Sith. He stayed to the light side. And God knows what else he might experience in the Obi-Wan series. But he stayed to the light side right up to episode 4, where he gave his life, in order to be this Force entity that would teach Luke from being dead, and it's so like it does go to show that you can have attachments, and if you're strong in the Force, you won't go to the dark side. He could be manipulated, and that's what Anakin was. He was manipulated. But yeah. Anyways, this has been a very long talk. You got anything more to add?
No, that's everything. I'm just concerned about this. That's all.
Yeah, me too. And I let me just quickly look at this article again. When's this film fucking coming out? I think it might be 2023.
Let me look online for you.
2023 is my summer of 2023.
Well, there are books about the High Republic, which again.
Yeah, books and comics and stuff like that.
What's the word? Short stories, audio. Reception.
Movie. Let me quickly check on the news here.
Yeah, I can't find anything about it. Sorry.
They're saying that there'll be. I think 2023 might be a period. Like I'm reading one article here. It says in recent months there've been rumors of a mystery project or two being in development under Lucasfilm, with the company eyeing production starts in June-July time frame. Initially, rumors suggest that an Old Republic era movie will be filmed in London over the summer in time for a 2023 release date, replacing the indefinitely delayed Rogue Squadron. So yeah, it'll be about 250 years. Apparently, the High Republic film is going to start filming in June, from what I'm reading here. It'll be set 250 years before the Phantom Menace. So that's going to be pretty cool. When it does eventually come out, and in the day, we want more Star Wars. We want more, as much Star Wars as possible, man. I can never get enough. I love this saga and stuff like that. I just want an evolution to it. That's all. One of the things I did like about the books was that they were cool with attachments in the New Jedi Order under Luke Skywalker, and I just feel they're repeating history with no attachments, which is what Luke was doing in Book of Boba Fett episode 6. So I wasn't a fan of that, but we'll see if they can change direction in the future. Anyway, we know that he fucking loses his Jedi Order anyway, so that's inevitably going to happen. So we'll see how things pan out. Nevertheless, it's been a good talk. I'm glad we talked a lot about Star Wars in this. There was so much to talk about, and I can't wait. I really can't wait. You looking forward to the Obi-Wan series? And the poster came out for that.
Yeah, because I like Ewan McGregor. He's a good actor, and I'm hoping that
one of the best.
The fact is that he was actually one of the good things about the prequel trilogy.
Him and Ian McDiarmid, in my opinion, were the two best things.
Because I know he's doing the impression. He was doing the impression of Alec Guinness, but it's a pretty decent impression of Alec Guinness, to be honest with you.
A really good impression of a young Alec Guinness. If Alec Guinness was young, he would be Ewan McGregor. So.
Well, there are films where Alec Guinness was young, and it's pretty much spot on that he was doing that.
I'm just look. The only thing I'm not too happy about regarding the Obi-Wan series is that it's set in a period which is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith and 10 years before A New Hope. Like, why can't it be his whole fucking time there? Why does it have to be a particular period of time? Because what happened those 10 years before, I want to fucking know. You know what I mean? And what happens those 10 years after, I want to fucking know. I want to know the moment he fucking gave Luke to the fucking last family and he walked away. That's for me when the fucking film should start. The series should start. And then it's his whole life. Obviously, you can skip a few years here or there if it's not that interesting and stuff. But I want it to be more of a character study as well, of a man going through regret, PTSD, having to survive in the sands of Tatooine and stuff like that. Watching Luke but keeping his distance and stuff. All of these things, learning how to be a Force ghost, speaking to Qui-Gon, or all of these things, through the Force and all of that. Maybe paying a visit to Yoda now and again on Dagobah if he's able to get off the planet. Those are the sort of things. It doesn't need to be so action orientated, but I feel people are going to go down that route. Sometimes I just want a character study and not necessarily a reason just to fucking draw lightsabers and beat the shit out of each other. And a series like Obi-Wan should be a great character study, but unfortunately, I think they're going to try and make it action orientated as well. So that's what it's going to be about, in my opinion. With him and Vader having a rematch, so they would have fought each other 3 times.
I hope not, because the thing is that because he literally said the last time I've not felt someone said I've not felt since. You tell that it's been a while, so I hope it's not.
It's not just that as well. Like when Obi-Wan discovers Luke after the fight with the Tusken Raiders, and we see Obi-Wan for the first time, Luke says to him, I got, but he saw the message from Leia, from C-3PO, sorry, from R2-D2. He says to him, Ben, Ben Kenobi, there's this person called Leia who He's looking for an Obi-Wan Kenobi. Do you know who he is? And he goes, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, I haven't heard that name since before you were born, which is what he said. And if he does fight Vader again, then Vader can only call him Kenobi and not Obi-Wan Kenobi. But if he calls him Obi-Wan Kenobi, then he's obviously heard that, within the last 10 years. So these sort of things nitpick at me, and it's really important that they stick to the continuity as much as possible, or it's just going to come across as fucking stupid, and people are going to say loopholes, plot holes, all of that shit. And it's not like they don't know any of these things. They can watch the original trilogy countless times to make sure they get it all right. Anyways, I'm just yabbering on. Regardless, I'm going to fucking watch it, and I'm going to fucking hopefully fanboy out. And it's so good to see Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's been 17 years, man.
Yeah, the guy. I hate to say this, but the guy doesn't look any older. I don't know what fountain of youth or Fabian Lazarus pit he has. But
when you're a Hollywood actor, you can look young, man. Look at fucking Jared Leto. The guy's 50. He looks like he's in his 30s, man. Yeah,
because he works out at the time. I think he eats very little.
I wouldn't be surprised, But nevertheless,
but say that though, like, I mean, you don't really look the age you are, and I don't really look the age I am. So
I'm 40. I'm 44 years old. I'll be 45 in a few months.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be 40 in a couple of weeks. So
I don't look 44.
No.
How old do I look?
I'd say 39, maybe 38.
That's really good. But I've got all this grey in here and all this grey, man. Doesn't look old.
Well, that's the reason I shaved this off.
Yeah, because of all your weight loss, you look a lot younger. You look like you're in your early 30s.
Yeah, well, as I said, I'm trying to lose more of it because, the thing is that I'm still single, so.
Yeah, likewise, dude. Likewise. Anyways, that's our fucking throwing ourselves on the market over with. I'm going to end this now, mate. And I just want to say to everyone, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. And from Leonard Nimoy, as he always says, may the force be with you. Live long and prosper, my friends.